Hello everyone, I'm coming at you guys today with my review of Basketball Trolls, and I will have to say last night's episode was really terrible. It really pissed me off because I just never thought there would be a group of women of that age group to act so ignorant, especially on TV. So I just feel like VH1 as a network company or whatever, they have the authority, they have the power to at least post some type of bullying public service announcement before, during, and after last night's episode of Basketball Trolls. But they didn't because they're cutthroat themselves. So basically, it was just a continuation from last week's episode where Tammy was going off on Keisha because Can't Get Right, aka Thumb Sucking Susie, told Tammy that Keisha told her, as well as Royce, that she could have went off on Tammy, but she chose not to go off on Tammy. And Keisha only said that because Tammy went off on Keisha early on in the season at this restaurant. So Tammy just going off because of this whole you said I say thing. And what I think is just so unfair about the situation is that all of these trolls talk about each other behind each other's back. But for whatever reason, Tammy just can't take it when someone talk about her behind her back. And what I think Tammy needs to do is go ahead, go home, and watch reruns of Pee Wee's Playhouse and just chant a million times to herself. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. She need to go ahead and just download that into her mental package and call it a day. But like I said, she was a bully. She took Keisha's purse, and I just don't understand how she would act that way to Keisha. And like I said, she don't like no one talking about her behind her back, but newsflash, Tammy, we're all talking about you behind your back. In fact, I hope you stumble across this video so I could talk about you to your face. What I don't get from you is that you can do what you did to Keisha, but you couldn't do half the shit that you did to Keisha to Evelyn. Keisha only talked about you behind your back, but Evelyn and your husband put your vagina at risk for an STD. That is something you can die from. What Keisha did was just, voiced her own opinion or made a statement about how you talk to her and how you act. I really don't understand you whatsoever. I mean, first of all, Evelyn didn't even tell you woman to woman first. She told Shawnee. And then Shawnee told Evelyn to tell you. So it hadn't been for messy ass pimp Shawnee, Evelyn would have never told you that she slept with Kenny. But even you said out of your own mouth, there's not one woman in the world that did not know that Kenny Anderson wasn't married. So I just don't understand how you can treat Keisha the way you did, but you couldn't do that to Evelyn when Evelyn and your husband put your vagina at risk for an STD. And I feel like on last night's episode, you put on a show for these trolls. And when I say trolls, I'm talking about Evelyn, Pimp Shawnee, and Can't Get Right. They're not laughing with you, they're actually laughing at you. You act so unladylike on last night's episode. You had one shot of tequila, I'm assuming, and your face was sweaty. You had spit flying from your mouth. You were slapping the table with your hand. You had your legs bust wide open, sitting on a wooden chair. What you look like a wino sitting on a milk crate in front of a corner store, going off on somebody for 50 cents in a Black and Mild. You really looked unladylike. You looked ignorant, and you looked pitiful. We all know Keisha don't want to fight. We all know she does not want to argue with anyone, and that is okay. That is her personality. And I feel like at some point in your life, you should act more ladylike. I mean, you're in your 40s. I feel like when you're in your 30s, late 30s, and approaching your 40s, and in your 40s, you should act a certain way, especially being that you have kids, and especially by you having two little girls that are going to emulate your behavior somewhere down in the line. And that's just really pitiful on your part. So, anyways, Keisha got up and just maintained a safe distance between herself and Tammy because she was afraid that she was going to get her ass whooped out there. And so Tammy took Keisha's purse, cell phone, and shades, and was like, if you want your shades, you need to come get them. So everybody got up. Keisha went her separate way, and the rest of the trolls got into the shuttle, and they basically went through her things, her cell phone, and even Tammy with her sweaty ass face put on Keisha's shades. And Tammy told Can't Get Right, oh, don't feel bad because you told me what she said. You supposed to tell me what she said. And I'm like, okay, first of all, Can't Get Right, I'm just waiting on the day somebody stomp you. Like, for real, you are so messy, and I just don't understand why you're so messy. And Shawnee sitting in the back seat giving Tammy the side eye, and I'm like, okay, pimp, you can't control your troll. You have no authority on what went down, what just took place. Like, for real, where was the camera crew? I mean, why nobody stepped in to try to intervene in this situation? I believe and I wish that Royce was there, because I believe in some way, if she was there, she would have defended Keisha, because like I said, right is right, wrong is wrong. You don't take nobody's personal property just to try to make yourself seem bigger than the next person. You really don't do that. But anyways, hey, sit. Long story short, Can't Get Right knocked on Keisha's door and told Keisha that Tammy had her things, and basically she told Keisha that if she want her things, she need to kiss Tammy's ass to get them. And Keisha went to the front desk and basically told them that someone in room 224 have her things, and then she need help to get her things back. So Susie is like, no, you gotta do is go back and tell her you're sorry. Come on, tell her you're sorry. First of all, like I said in previous reviews, I really believe that Susie's parents are actually brother and sister. This woman really clearly don't have common sense whatsoever. She lack a brain. Oh my goodness, she need to go back to that center, basically. But anyway, she went back and told the rest of the trolls what Keisha did, and all of them collectively went back to Keisha's place. And on their way there, Tammy acted a complete fool. All she was missing was one of these. You know how you try to scratch your scalp, but you can't really get to it because the tracks are in the way? Well, in her case, those micro braids. Well, that's all she was missing. So she was dragging her feet, dragging those Daniel Green slippers, and she was beating on this girl's door like a cave woman. Going all hooping and hollering, calling this girl all kinds of bitches, scary bitches, and all that type of stuff. So, of course, Keisha didn't open her door. And so Shawnee is trying to put on this timid voice like, please let me talk to her. And then Tammy, she walked off dragging her Daniel Green slippers. And so Keisha opened up the door and let Shawnee and Evelyn into her room. And so she was just like breaking down. Her face was wet. She had snot and boogers in her left nostril. Her face was red. When I tell you this girl broke down, she really did break down. And Shawnee, all she could say was, well, Tammy have your things, so you need to figure out a way how to get your things back. I just want to know why Nostrils would tell this girl something like that. Like, for real. Like, for real. Those two trolls in that girl room were both snakes. They already knew it was going to go down once they get to Tahiti. Because Tammy already had it plotted up. And the only time we see Shawnee is when mess is about to kick off. Other than that, Shawnee is living her world. She's living a double life. She's living her world with her man and her children. And she only come out there when she need to supervise a fight or a beat down or some type of argument. That is it. That's it. So anyways, Keisha's like she don't want to be there. She want to leave and all this type of stuff. And so Tammy came back with her purse and she gave Keisha back her purse. But Keisha had to say please for it. It wouldn't have been me. It couldn't have been me. Do you think Tammy could have went to New Orleans and just went up to a random person in any ward in New Orleans and took somebody's purse and tell them, hey, if you want your purse, you need to come to my house? Do you think she can get by with that? Because like one of two things could happen to Tammy. She would either be found murdered or she would not be found at all. You cannot go around doing no stuff like that. I don't think she would have did that to Nene, Marlo, Christy from Love and Hip Hop. Ain't nowhere in the world she would have done that at all. She's just being a bully. That's it. So she gave her purse and told her she was going to put her hands on her because she looked helpless. So she walked out, and like I said, Keisha was crying, and then all of a sudden Shawnee started crying, and I don't know why Shawnee was crying. I'm guessing maybe she was crying because her commission check was going to be cut just a little bit because one of the trolls didn't stay during the whole duration of this trip. Maybe that's the reason why she was crying. But Evelyn, I don't know why she was crying, but I would like to know, did she cry when she slept with that woman's husband? That's what I would like to know. I would like to know, do she cry late at night after Chad talked to her like a dog to her face? I would like to know that. But anyways, like I said, Keisha was crying. Keisha even said that she was raised in a white household looking black, but she wanted to embrace and get to know her black side. But when she tried to interact with other black women, they don't let her in because she don't look black enough. And I just want to say this to you, Keisha, if you happen to look at this video, please don't think all black women act the way Tammy act. Please don't think all black women act like Shawnee, Evelyn, Susie, Kenya. Please don't think that about black women at all. Those are a bunch of ignorant women that you were put up in a group with. Very ignorant women. But anyways, she said she wanted to leave, and then these trolls went back to Tammy and told Tammy that Keisha wanted to leave, and then Tammy was like, I hope she leave. But I just want to know, who paid for Tammy to come out to Tahiti? Like, for real. I'm pretty sure Shawnee had something to do with it, along with VH1, courtesy of Priceline.com, Hotwire.com, Expedia.com. But I fail to believe that this do-rag, wife beater wearing troll actually paid up some money to go out there to Tahiti. I'm sorry. A troll. That's just what she is. But anyways, long story short, Keisha left. She got the fuck. And I can't say that I blame her. But like I said, if Tammy took my things, I personally would have punched her clean across her face. Those micros would have been on the ground, and her teeth would have been tangled up in those micros. For real. She know who to mess with. She really do know who to mess with. Because if she would have went to somebody else, she wouldn't have done that. But anyways, after all of this happened, after Keisha left, Tammy, early on in the episode, got the key to Kenya Bell's room. Of course, Shawnee made her do that. And later on in the episode, they got some fish. They strategically put the dead fish, in Kenya's room. And when I say they, I'm talking about Evelyn and Susie. Shawnee was just standing there supervising the whole thing. Meanwhile, Tammy's back at her room reflecting on life, I guess. 5 hours of being sober from that one shot that she had. But anyway, so they put the fish in the room. And again, another childish behavior, another bully act. And you know Kenya and that hair is not going to be taken very lightly at all. If she let this pass, I'm very surprised. I know I said she's Lifetime Movie Network ready. No, she's going to be Lifetime Movie Network when she see this. She's going to go off. She's going to give you Snap. She's going to give you all kinds of movies that you've seen on Saturday nights on Lifetime Movie Network. She's going to give you that type of crazy. That's what she's going to do. And you already know what she looked like. Kenya and Jennifer, they arrived later on towards the end of the episode, like the last 2 minutes of the episode they came there. And Kenya, that is new weave in her hair. I know it's hard to believe that's new hair, but yeah, that's new hair in her head. It is not Virgin Remy hair. To all my new subscribers, it's not Virgin Remy hair. It is promiscuous Remy hair. She has 5 bundles in it. I don't know where she get her hair from, but it look a hot mess. She don't have it finger combed or anything like that. She just have it pulled to the side with a claw attached to it, and that is it. She looked like a struggling social worker. That's just what she looked like. But basically, guys, that's all that really happened on this week's episode of the Basketball Wives. It was a hot mess. I'm really pissed off at Tammy. Somebody need to beat the hell out of Tammy. Especially Susie. Somebody need to beat the hell out of Susie. Shawnee need to go back to her beautician and talk to them about that mess sitting on top of her head because it look a hot mess. Evelyn, wow. Somebody need to slap her as well. As far as the reunion, there is a little clip that's going around on various blog sites. And Sean is like, well, she and the producers, along with VH1, have created this no violence policy. Well, a little bit too late for that now. We really don't want to see y'all for a fifth season. Really, we don't. Do us a favor and just call it quits. On top of that, this troll is trying to create Basketball Wives, the movie. I would like to know how many people will actually sit in a theater. I don't care if it's on a $5 movie day. Who is going to sit there and watch Basketball Wives and actually pay for to watch this when we can barely watch it when it's on TV, when it's free? I can't stand these trolls. VH1, please cut them off. We do not need to see them whatsoever. So I really don't know if this review is going to be a smash hit, being that this show wasn't a smash hit at all. I just really don't understand how these women can act the way they act. So until my next review, guys,